welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and today I am very excited to be doing Sandy's 1001 book tag. So for those of you that don't know, Sandy is a magnificent booktuber. Her channel is Miss Reads A Lot. I will link her below along with her original tag video. So Sandy is following a list of 1001 books that you should read before you die. And in honour of that massive list, she has come up with an original tag. And I was overwhelmingly chuffed to be tagged by Sandy, and everyone else is more organised than me. So I've also been tagged by Jack at Spread Book Joy, Becky at Teacup the Storyteller, and I think more people have tagged me, but I can't remember who. Apologies. So yeah, I am behind and I am filming it today. So yes, so let's get on with the questions. Apologies that it's taken me a hot minute to get to it, but I am here now. So the first question is 1001 lists. Do you follow any book lists? It could be a prize list or a challenge like the Rory Gilmore challenge. And the short answer to this is yes, I follow all the lists. Do I read all the books from those lists? No. But in my mind, I want to read them. I particularly enjoy the Women's Prize. The Rory Gilmore challenge is quite interesting, and I do sort of go back and have a look at like how many I've ticked off from time to time, which for those that don't know is from the Gilmore Girls, and basically every book that Rory Gilmore is seen reading is in a list of like a lot of books. So yeah, I follow is probably a bit strong, but do I look at them and think I would like to read them all? Yes, I do. Will I ever read them all? Probably not. The next question is 1001 books. How many physical books do you own and how many ebooks? So I had a quick scout around. I didn't do like a full-on count. I just sort of went, there's about 10 there and about 10 there. And I think I have about 100 physical books. That is not including the kids' books, picture books. I probably have 100 picture books in Charlie's room of their own accord. But I didn't count them. They're not mine. They're Charlie's. Did I buy them? Yes, I did. But they're still Charlie's. My husband has about 15. Ebooks, I have about 600 on my Kindle, about 150 of them are read. The rest are unread. That's Kindle deals for you. I thought that was quite excessive before I started seeing people do this tag. And then I was like, man, people have got thousands. I should buy some more Kindle books. So yeah, I have plenty to be getting on with, I think is the point, because those 100 physical books that I've got, I haven't read any of them, because when I read books, I then give them away. So yeah. Question 3, 1001 books read. Approximately how many books have you read in your lifetime, and do you keep track? So yes, I keep track on Goodreads and Storygraph now. For anyone who's interested in moving over to Storygraph, I do use them both because I think they've got different benefits. I might do a pros and cons of Goodreads and Storygraph at some point. But it's really easy to just transfer all your data across from one platform to the other. So on there, I think there's about 600 books read, but I probably only started recording on there about 5 years ago. I did backfill with some of sort of my more favourite books, but like anything that I read really when I was a teenager probably isn't there. So I don't know, maybe 1,000, maybe. And it depends if you count like picture books and stuff. So like George and the Noisy Baby, I have read this and reread it probably 1,000 times on its own. Does that count? We'll say it doesn't count for this, but mate, you're missing out if you haven't read George and the Noisy Baby. So, question 4. 1001 Arabian Nights. Have you read any of the stories from Arabian Nights? Do you have a favourite? If you haven't read it, would you want to? The answer to this is yes. I have read 1001 Arabian Nights, or a compilation of it. I don't know whether it had all the stories in, because when I look back, I don't remember a lot of the ones. The ones that stick out to me most are the Sinbad stories. I think there were 7 Sinbad stories. And I really like those. Give me a good pirate story any day. But it was quite a while ago that I read it, so it's a bit fuzzy. 1001 flavours. Do you have a favourite food or flavour? So I really like Southeast Asian food. So like Thai curries and pad Thai and all of those amazing things. So I suppose the flavours that I really like are lemongrass, ginger, chilli. Those 3 ingredients are pretty much always in my house because they are amazeballs. So yeah, you asked for 1, I gave you 3. 1001 pages. Have you read a book that's over 1001 pages? Are there any that you recommend and are worth the time? And what is the longest book you've ever read? So I had a little gander back at my Goodreads, and I have actually read 7 books that are over 1,000 pages. Some of them were not worth the time, but the ones that were, probably The Fiery Cross, but that's the 5th in the Outlander series, and was also my longest book at 1,443 pages. It was a beast. I did listen to it on audio. It was like 60 odd hours. The Lord of the Rings, if you count it as 1 book rather than 3, definitely worth the read. Like, brilliant, one of my favourite books of all time. A Storm of Swords is 1,177 pages, but again, is that the 3rd in the Song of Ice and Fire? It might be the 3rd. So yeah, I would recommend, but obviously I would recommend you read the first 2 first. Question number 7, 1001 buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? What is one thing on the list? I don't have like an actual list written out somewhere in a diary. But of course there are things that I would like to do in my lifetime, most of which revolve around travel. So for an example of that would be, I would love to do the Inca Trail in Peru at some point. But let's be honest, a 2-year-old ain't going to do the Inca Trail. So we've got a little bit of time before that's going to happen. 1001 numbers. Do you have a favourite number, and is there a story behind it? I suppose I do have a favourite number, and that number is 13. When I was a kid, I felt really sorry for the number 13 because everyone said it was really unlucky, and I felt like it was being unfairly ostracised from the number line. So that became my favourite number. That's, the logic of 8-year-old Gemma. Pick the number that is least liked by everyone. That will be my favourite. 1001 authors. Do you have a favourite author and or genre? I'm going to cheat here. I have probably 2 favourite genres, historical fiction and fantasy. Favourite author for historical fiction, as it stands today, is Kristen Hanna, and my favourite author for fantasy is J.R.R. Tolkien. 1001 activities. Do you have a favourite outdoor activity? So I've watched quite a lot of people do these videos now because I'm so far behind. And a lot of people are saying these like really cool things like, oh, I love walking in nature and hiking and climbing mountains. Do you know what my favourite thing to do outside is? Sit on a sunbed with a cocktail and a book, and my kids are somewhere over there. And I'm alone on a sunbed with a cocktail and a book. Obviously in a hot country, like not like now outside in the UK. That would be rubbish. 11. 1001 book clubs. So this is not a prompt. This was Sandy asking if she should start up a 1001 book club where she picks a book from that list each month to read along with whoever would like to. And my answer to that is hell yes, Sandy. Start a book club. I would absolutely love to read some books with you. Probably wouldn't read them all, but I would definitely read a fair whack of them. And last, 10 plus 1 friends. Tag some people's. So I've gone through and tried to pick people who haven't already done it. However, I am pre-filming this slightly, so those people may have done it by the time this comes out. I know some of these people have also already been tagged by other people, but man, I have not got time to go through everyone's tag and see if they've tagged the people that I'm gonna tag. You with me? You're with me. So I picked 11 people at random who I don't think I've seen do it yet. So number 1, Mason from Mason in the Dark. Number 2, Bob from Bob the Bookerer. 3, Larry from Larry Has Opinions, because I mean you can't separate Bob and Larry, can you? They go together. Nikki from Red Dot Reads. Jem from Bookish Gems. Samantha from Samantha Barthay. Sorry mate if I have pronounced that wrong. Carrie from Very Literary Carrie, who I'm very excited because we've just agreed to do a buddy read. Ellie from Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. Scott and Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. Jennifer from Jennifer Loves Books. And Rosie from Rosie Cockshut. So, guys, if you haven't done it, you should do it. Anyone who's watching who hasn't checked out any of those booktubers, they are all fab. Please check them out. Subscribe. Obviously, subscribe to me too, but subscribe to them. And yeah, I think we're there. I think we're done. We're cooked. So thank you again, Sandy, for tagging me. You're a gem. And I will catch you guys soon with another one. Okay, bye.